I saw you posted on Instagram earlier on for all of your fans just a little bit of an explanation. But for anyone that hasn't seen it, you've been living life for the past 5 years.
Yeah, I think I was working non-stop from 2009 and, you know, with the success of Strickland Banks, getting offered everything I ever wanted at the same time. So I never really kind of kept in contact with friends and family, you know, and it just, by 2012, just felt like none of that was there. None of those kind of real life relationships were there, and I wasn't having real life experiences. So kind of felt it'd be the wrong thing to do at that point to work on another album. I kind of needed to go and get some life experience under my belt again, so that I had something to write about.
Yeah.
You know.
But how were you able to do that? Because you are a very recognisable person. Were people stopping you in the supermarket and stuff going, hey, Plan B?
No, do you know, I've lost a lot of weight. So I kind of don't look the way I used to look. People look at me and they go, is that Plan B? No, Plan B's fat. He's too skinny.
You weren't fat. You were never fat.
Yeah, whatever.
You weren't. And don't make me have to pull out that photo of the pair of us from 2012 because you were not fat.
Oh, let's do it before and after.
Before and after. The life plan, before and after. But I mean, you're absolutely right in the fact that, you know, you wanted to go and live life to be able to then write about that life in this music. A lot of people forget that. A lot of artists forget that.
Yeah, I mean, it can be the end of some artists, I think, you know. We all need to remember to do that. And it doesn't get any realer than having children.
Yes.
You know, and that's what happened to me. So with this record, fans will notice there isn't any rapping on this record.
Okay.
You know, and that's because it just didn't feel to me, it didn't feel natural to be rapping about this particular experience. You know, for me, this is the best thing that ever happened to me, you know, and it made me want to sing.
Okay.
Rather than kind of break it down in the way that I do. You know, I've got a certain style to my rapping. I like to be very detailed. I like to tell stories to show examples or get across certain messages that I want. And, you know, there's only so much detail you can go into when you're talking about the kind of whole everyday part of parenthood, which is changing nappies and watching kid cartoons and stuff like that, you know.
Yeah.
So for me, it was more about just talking about just kind of love and gratitude for my daughter, you know, and, you know, this kind of blessing being bestowed upon me. And that felt more natural to do in song form, you know, which is why I decided to leave the rapping outside of it. You know, but by no means does this mean the end of me as a rapper. But
I won't allow that.
Yeah.
Even if I've got to drag you and pay for the studio time myself, I won't allow that.
Yeah, don't allow that. You know, but I just feel that I've afforded myself the luxury of being able to do that now. You know, I don't have anything to prove with that stuff. I would like to rap when it makes sense to do that, but I also find that my rap music is definitely an expression of my angst. Yeah, you know.
And right now, is this a cool, calm, collected Plan B?
I'm just not feeling that kind of angst. I mean, not to say I haven't felt it. There's some real political songs on this record, like the first single, but that wasn't actually written during this period. That was written a good 10 years ago. In terms of the song, I mean, yeah, like, I wrote that, like I said, a good few years ago. Yeah. And it was when we first invaded Iraq. Right. And it was seeing the media footage of sorry to take it really dark, but this is what the song's about, of dead children. And for me, you know, I just don't see how we can ever excuse the death or harm of young children, you know. But we do it. We say that we're entering into these countries, you know, our armies are invading these countries for the greater good. But I don't think it's as black black and white as that, and nor do a lot of other people, you know. So for me, it was important that I brought out this song now, and also the video that I directed.
Yes.
That's going to be coming out soon. And again, it you know, it's all about war, and it's using a lot of stock footage of war from, you know, different times in history. And the inclusion of the puppets allows me to kind of talk about some more kind of up-to-date issues regarding, you know, illegal immigration and what a lot of those kids go through. You know, these innocent kids that are kind of dying on the way to get to the shores of the UK, you know, drowning, you know, or, you know, staying alive, but, you know, their parents have died, and they're, you know, when we had the jungle in Calais, you know, you had kind of really young kids fending for themselves there. I don't know whenever that is right to allow that to happen to young people. And, you know, through my work with my charity, you know, I've seen firsthand, to some extent experienced myself, what it's like, you know, to come from, let's say, a childhood background that isn't perfect, and especially for them. I mean, that's nowhere near even normal, you know? So it was important for me, I felt, to release this song. This song is always going to be relevant whenever there's war. And when is there ever not going to be war, you know?
I think the thing for me is the fact that you've been able to convey your point in a piece of art. And this was something that I was reading on your Instagram earlier on, is the fact that, you know, for me personally, I believe that music is the one universal language that we have. That it doesn't really matter about people's background, their colour, their creed, anything. A shared experience of music is something that can bring us all together, and that is art. And the fact that you're able to make a comment about something that you obviously personally internalise so much via that piece of art, that's an important thing.
Yeah, thank you, man. I mean, it's sometimes hard to remember that we are artists, you know, because the celebrity side of everything can really, you know, take over so much of the time and kind of cloud what this is all about. That's why it was really important for me to release this first. I mean, look, when I listen to this song, I don't necessarily listen and think, hey, this is a radio hit. You know, or I don't expect to get chart success with it. But it's not all about that, you know. Sometimes you just got to come and you got to say something to the world that sparks the conversation.